Okay, if you would talk about
my Appa, Lou Merrill. And the reason I talk more about him because just by design, my Nana was just she'd take more time with the girls, and I just spent more time with my Appa, and he enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. But he was, like I said before, he was not necessarily laissez-faire, but if there were a level of in citizenry or whatever of a more of an aristocrat, they would have been probably labeled into that, even though he really rejected that whole thing. He was an engineer by trade. He designed the dam down here on the Crow River, right as you enter town, and he'd do his walks daily with the dog. I mean, I think Mary said it was Ginger, but it was a lot. There was cocker after cocker after cocker, so I can hardly remember the names. He'd walk the dog downtown, and he'd hang with the guys, the construction workers, the guys that, as they call it, the ordinary people, and those were his favorite. He didn't necessarily, like to highbrow it, but having said that, that's that little spiel. What else was I talking about? You can cut this and.
Yeah. What did you know about Little Crow? You were talking a little bit about Little Crow, and he used to.
This was his during the Sioux Uprising.
Yeah.
He used this as his headquarters.
Go ahead. Segueing back to, reminiscing about stories at least that we got from them, and really, quite frankly, his oldest daughter, Ruth Peterson, sister to my mother, Doris Merrill. Really was the family genealogist as much as anything. She really took it all in and put it down on paper. But when they had the Sioux Uprising of, 1862, I think that's something like that, and even though a lot of it was still centered down in the Mankato and St. Peter area and stuff, it was everywhere around here. And I know when Hutchinson went under siege by the Sioux, they all hit to the stockades. They vacated this house, and everything was burned except this house. And the simple reason was that Little Crow, who had been around here for a long time before that, this is what he wanted his house. He wanted it to be his house, and you said, Becky, that he made it his headquarters for whatever short period of time that they were totally in control and laying siege to the stockade. But that's why this house remained, and that history is pretty unique, I think. And you talk about Little Crow being Indian savage. It wasn't so at all. And as a matter of fact, you've even said yourself that there are stories where he was playing cards with others up here during that time. So, yeah, he was a cultured American Indian, but that was what happened back then.